actually, how can we prevent that the UK out of the EU will turn into a huge tax haven, worse than it is already? But my question to the representatives of the agencies here has, of course, to do with the, okay, we agree we need a EU FIU, which was, by the way, blocked by the Council when we were negotiating the fifth anti-money laundering directive. But I hope indeed that they will see that as a result of the conclusions that you shared with us. In the reinforcement of the mandates of the ESAs, I would like to ask you whether you also propose that indeed there would be a kind of a stress test, indeed scrutinizing the existing banking institutions and the shadow banking, the payment institutions and so on, so that indeed we would eliminate those that, for instance, are owned by PEPs and only serve as laundromats, and there are plenty of them, and I've actually, in what concerns my country, put them often to you, and I must say that actually EBA has somewhat reacted. ECB, it's quite outrageous that they feel completely out of the hook. My question is also, finally, do you think that some people have suggested to me that actually the current auctions of treasury bonds that member states are organizing, where they do not indeed apply anti-money laundering controls, where those purchasing these bonds can be anonymous, this is a huge organized money laundering scheme by our authorities? Is this contemplated? Thank you.
Okay, who would like to tackle it? Mr. Madeline?
Well, on the first point, I think EBA is already conducting risk assessments to determine where money laundering risks might stem from within the financial sector. And the expectation is that it does that regularly to make sure that we identify within the financial system the weak spots, and so that we are able to act upon them either through regulatory means or supervisory means. And even though these are not stress tests as as such, and as those apply to the banking sector, we definitely believe that work needs to take place to make sure that we address weaknesses within the financial system. Maybe Adam would like to complement on that. And in the proposal that we made, we also want to make sure that EBA can test the strategies and resources of national authorities to check that they are able to cope with emerging risks in the financial sector. You know, it's not good enough to be able to cater for very traditional risks in relation to banks, but national authorities really need to be up to speed with the most recent money laundering trends, and that should be overseen by EBA. As regards the auctions of treasury bonds, I don't want to duck the question, but I will need to look into that because I have not been briefed on the subject. I'm sorry.
Yeah, Mr. Farkas, briefly, please.
Very briefly, as I mentioned in my introductory remarks, currently we have a mandate to issue this joint opinion with the other ESAs on AML risks on a biannual basis. We are working on such. And of course, different sources of AML risk should be analyzed by the respective ESAs. Probably the auctions of government bonds would somewhat fall to into the scope of ESMA. But this is the product we are doing now, and the Commission's proposal, as Martin mentioned, is to strengthen this role of the EBA to do this risk assessment. Probably not stress test is the best tool for that. One other point you made, and you referred to specific cases, is the ownership and general fit and proper assessment. As we all know, even having a single supervisor for the Eurozone, the fit and proper assessment is done according to the national implementations, and therefore the single supervisor is doing assessments according to 19 different national regimes. We at the EBA did a peer review of this for the entire European Union, and we identified this as a major issue. We were trying to issue a formal opinion to the legislators to change this, but it was blocked by the EBA board at the time. So the structure of fit and proper assessment is unchanged.
Okay. Thank you very much. Thank you very much to all the speakers, Executive Director of EBA, Mr. Farkas, Deputy Director General, Mr. Medlan, and Acting Deputy Director, Mrs. Jules Schroeder. We will reflect what we've heard in our further work. Thank you very much, and it concludes our hearing. Thank you.